Yes, you guys, I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lines TV, and welcome to the match preview of our upcoming game tomorrow against Barcelona. Barcelona are European rivals. There's been so many memories, we've had so much history with Barcelona recently. There's been highs and there's been lows, and my god have the lows been very low. I was at that game in 2009, I've never seen a game like that. I pray I'll never see a game like that again. Before I just keep going on, you guys, today's video is brought to you by the OneFootball app. Download the OneFootball app to stay up to date with all things pre-season, from news to everything happening during pre-season. The OneFootball app is the best app for this, especially because of the convenience. If you guys want this, it will be in the link in the description below. Now, I'm going to start things a bit differently with the format for today's video. I'm going to start this introduction by talking about Barcelona and how their pre-season's looking. Now, Barcelona do begin their pre-season against us, and it's been a very busy summer at Barcelona. Not only has Griezmann come, not only has Frenkie de Jong come, not only has Neto come as well, but it's looking very likely that Neymar may be making a return back to the Camp Nou. Now, I want to focus on Griezmann for a tiny bit, and for me, I see the Griezmann signing as him being essentially a younger version of Suarez. His replacement, in fact. Now, yeah, of course, Griezmann isn't a kid, he's in his late 20s now, but with Griezmann's game, with his ability to work very hard and press very hard as well, Barcelona are definitely going to need this work rate to accommodate the rest of the attacking talent at their disposal. Now, when it comes to Griezmann, it's reported that he did break down in tears signing for Barcelona, and to be honest, it's really a surprise. But anyway, it is going to be interesting to see how Valverde does use him. I'm expecting Griezmann to play up front by himself tomorrow because of course there's no Suarez, there's no Messi, and when it comes to Griezmann, we all know about Griezmann. He's quick, he runs the channels well, he has a great first touch, he can beat his man 1v1, and to be honest, he has come a very long way from the guy that used to play as a winger at Real Sociedad. Now he's just signed for Barcelona. For me, it's going to be very interesting to see how Zuma and Griezmann come up against each other. I think it is going to be a pretty fun battle. However, of course, moving on to Frenkie de Jong, he's going to be quite interesting to view as well. Of course, it's going to be interesting to see how Valverde does use him. Is he going to sit alongside Busquets? Or is he going to be playing a much more advanced role? I have a feeling that he might be sitting alongside Busquets. I think that Busquets does need some energy around him when it comes to pressing. And of course, just to end things on Barcelona, I'm expecting maybe a young player to play for them, Todibo. Now, Todibo does have a big season at Barcelona. They didn't sign De Ligt. He decided to sign for Juventus instead. And with Todibo, he's very highly rated, great young talent, and I'm expecting him to play alongside Umtiti. Now, with Barcelona, of course, it looks like they could be signing Neymar, and honestly, it makes them even scarier. Because when it comes to the Champions League, I don't think any team wants to come up against Neymar, Griezmann or Messi. And when you see what the final Barcelona team can look like, it's a madness, I can't lie, it's a madness. But of course, you guys, that's enough with Barca. Moving on to us, and who's going to be playing in the teams for tomorrow. Now, when it comes to that game tomorrow, we have the advantage because we've already played 3 pre-season games. Barcelona are playing their first one against us, so from a fitness point of view, we do have that advantage, and I'm expecting us to work very hard and press very well. And when it comes to the physicality in the team right now, Lampard himself said it, he's feeling very confident, he likes what he's seeing. The only negative is the fact that when it comes to our use of the ball, it hasn't been good enough. And he's right. Way too many times moves are getting broken down, and a lot of times we know this, it's coming down to the individual player. We've seen guys like Kennedy, Pedro, Barkley constantly losing the ball in those areas, so I'm expecting Lampard to come with a different solution against Barcelona. Now, when it comes to the predicted lineup for tomorrow's game, one thing that I have been doing is I've been going through Darren Woj's Getty Images page because he has been taking a lot of photos from pre-season training. And one thing that I have noticed is that different coloured bibs represent different teams that are going to play. And there are 3 that have been photographed, a green one, an orange one, and a pink one. It's quite hard to guess what it could be. I'm guessing colours represent who's a sub, who's playing first half, who's playing second half. But from looking at the photos, I'm guessing that we are looking to use a 4-2-3-1 in either half. I've told you guys already, there's different variations of how we use a 4-2-3-1. There's a more possession focused one, and the other one is focused on playing on the counter attack and working very hard. So from this and looking at all the photos as well, we get an indication of who might be playing first half and second half. Now, immediately I'm going to be looking at Jorginho in the orange bib, and I'm going to look at other players wearing it as well. In this photo, we see Christensen, we see Pulisic right here on the right hand side, and we do see Cover as well. Now, for me, seeing Pulisic does imply that he will be playing on the wing. Could he potentially play up front alongside a striker in a 4-2-1-2? Maybe, but I don't really see Pulisic doing that. I see him being used on the wings, and obviously looking in the first half against Kawasaki a few days ago, we saw that we did use the possession style 4-2-3-1 in the first half. So I'm guessing that maybe Pulisic will be on the left hand side or right hand side, and maybe Mason Mount will play down the flank as well. It's not the first time Mason's done that this preseason. He's already done that, and I'm not going to be surprised because Lampard said he isn't happy with the use of the ball in the final third. And of course, when you have Mason Mount and Pulisic playing between the lines, playing in the half spaces, obviously that's going to improve the attacking qualities. So, with my logic, I'm assuming this could potentially be the lineup that we do see. Second half, I'm seeing Bakker in green, maybe Luiz playing the full 90 minutes again. Drinkwater, I'm guessing that's Drinkwater here. That's telling me second half, or maybe, second half and subs come on to, see it out the game. Looking to use Bakker and Danny as 2 holding midfield players. And maybe that's going to be Ross Barkley in the hole. I'm assuming in tomorrow's game, a few more players may play 90 minutes, not just David Luiz. Again, it's my best guess. I'm not too confident when it comes to predicting the lineup this time. You guys in the comment section below, if you think I'm wrong, make sure you tell me who you think is going to play first half and second half. Now, I'm expecting this to be the Barcelona team. Of course, as I told you guys earlier, I'm really not too confident when it comes to predicting the lineups for tomorrow's game. And with Barcelona now, signing Frenkie de Jong, Rakuten, even though he's getting older, he still offers a lot of pressing and work rate. A lot of hype around Todibo. Of course, with De Ligt not signing with Barcelona, this means that he does have an opportunity this year to make something of himself. Of course, he is highly talented, he is highly rated, so he could be partnering alongside Umtiti for tomorrow. As the fullbacks, I'm guessing Semedo and Jordi Alba, and of course, Alba, one of the best left backs this generation, phenomenal player. Semedo, I kind of feel as if he's been quite unlucky in the sense that obviously with Barcelona and Valverde needing certain players to offer more work rate and defensive nous, I feel as if Semedo has lost out on that, and hopefully this season he does, stake a claim for the right back spot and make something happen. And of course, importantly, it's the front 3, Malcolm, I wonder how much game time this guy's going to get next season. I'm not expecting him to get too much. Ousmane Dembele. And of course, big money signing Griezmann. I see him playing as a striker. I don't see Suarez, and Suarez and Messi, of course, they ain't going to be playing in tomorrow's game. Griezmann, the big money signing. I'm expecting him to operate between the space, drop deep, and I'm expecting guys like maybe Malcolm and Dembele to potentially move infield to support him. Griezmann's always done best working alongside other players playing close to him. It's something that Valverde has been doing at Barcelona beforehand as well. Of course, with Coutinho playing on the left hand side, left wing. Coutinho's game's about moving infield. And with Valverde, he is a manager that is happy to adapt depending on the strength of the players that he has. Back during his first season when they used to have Paulinho. Of course, Paulinho used to be the guy. Let me just use Rakitic as an example. Paulinho used to be the guy that would help start the press alongside Suarez. Of course, with him going, things became different basically with Barca moving more infields and of course trying to negate the lack of a Paulinho in the team. So again, I'm expecting the front two to work alongside Griezmann. I think that suits them more, and that's how I see Barcelona setting up for us in the game tomorrow. Now, when it comes to how I think the game is going to go from a tactical point of view, I was telling you guys that I see us using a 4-2-3-1 in the game tomorrow. And as you guys can see here, if you look in the central area right here, you see automatically that we do outnumber Barcelona in midfield. And I think that I do understand why Lampard would go for this approach, because I'm guessing that he wants to force Barca's wide midfield players to run back, to drag the attacking mids out wide, and by doing this, of course, it creates bigger distances between Barca's midfield and their forward players. And of course, when you're doing it like that, it is going to make it harder to find passes to the forward players. And I'm guessing by doing this as well, the fullbacks would push forwards. Barca's wingers should be tracking back on top of that as well. And yeah, obviously Tammy occupying in the middle in between Umtiti and Todibo. So I think this is the approach from an offensive point of view, how we want to look. And of course, with Jorginho and cover, these guys are going to be very crucial in regards to helping us create these turnovers in possession. They're very good at being press resistant. They're very good at, starting attacks and creating them from nothing. And it's going to be crucial for these guys to find players like this in the half spaces. And obviously moving on now to Ross Barkley in the middle. Barkley, you know what, as I told you guys, I do want to give him an opportunity to, have a second chance. But still, in a game like this where you're playing against opposition like Barca, you need to be press resistant. That's the bare minimum. And you're hoping that when it comes to doing or making the crucial pass, Ross Barkley's going to do that. And at times he does struggle, but I'm hoping now that under Frank, he might have, a newfound sense of confidence in this game again. Obviously, looking at the older clips of Ross Barkley back at Everton, he looks like a completely different player now. And of course, we can't dismiss the fact that his injury was very severe. It did take a massive toll on the player. I think my question is, how big was that toll? I guess we're going to find out this season. Now, when it comes to Barcelona, I see one area in which they'll try to break us down will be to get the boards to Dembele and Malcolm so they can go 1v1 against our fullback. Now, of course, with how we are under Frank Lampard, the team does like to press very high and very aggressively, but you're playing against a team like Barcelona. Come on, look at this midfield. Look at Frenkie de Jong. He's one of the players that you just can't even win possession from. He's that good at being his man. And of course, it's going to be a game to try and, minimize his influence in tomorrow's game. But, when you have players of this dimension, you're always able to turn defense into attack. And with Barcelona, we don't want them to really influence the game. Now, one worry I would have is the longer it came to us potentially sitting deeper and obviously keeping our shape, are we going to be as solid? That's one thing I'm worried about. With Barca, I see guys like Malcolm and Dembele moving more infields. And for me, even though guys like Jorginho and Cover are great with their work rate, positional sense, etc., etc., are they like defensive masters like Kante? Of course not. If our press is poor, if we're easily losing possession of the ball, and this is where I'm looking at Ross Barkley in particular, because he's known to lose the ball on a frequent basis. But yeah, with Barcelona, of course, by moving infield, they'll hope to bring their fullbacks up the pitch as well. Guys like Rakuten will move alongside them to create those triangles. Same thing for Frenkie de Jong as well. But actually, no. Of course, they'll be sitting a bit deeper because the last thing Barcelona want is for Busquets to be left by himself. They're going to be a lot more disciplined. So, of course, wherever the ball is ball side, one of the two wide central midfield players will move wherever the ball is. So, if it's on the right-hand side, Rakitic will move here. If it's on the left, Frenkie de Jong will move here as well. So, yeah, it is going to be interesting, of course. And I'm going to be keeping my eye out on Pulisic and Mason Mount in particular, because in the previous game against Kawasaki, our combinational play, the rotations, between the lines in the half spaces were really poor with Kennedy and Pedro. We constantly kept losing possession of the ball. And on that note, you guys, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lines TV. See you guys tomorrow.